On 15 minutes past 9 a.m. as we continue with the show this morning. We stay in the company of our Salam Media listeners and viewers and also welcoming One Nation 88.9 FM out of Polokwane to the show this morning. Now, still to come, the big news coming out of Pakistan is the mounting pressure on Prime Minister Imran Khan. And this comes with the ruling coalition, obviously, some of them leaving him and the no confidence vote in the Pakistani Prime Minister. We joined on the line this morning by a doctor or Professor Shahida Wizarat. She is a professor at the Institute of Business Management out in Karachi. Dr. Shahida Wizarat, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Alaikum assalam.
Yes, Dr. Shahida, let's just talk about some of the background that has now reached a stage where the Prime Minister Imran Khan is facing this pressure. We know some allies have left the ruling coalition ahead of this no confidence vote. What is the background to this no confidence vote in the Pakistani Prime Minister?
Actually, for the last about 3.5 years, government's performance was very, very dismal. I mean, on every front, whether you look at the political side, whether you look at the economic policies, there was total chaos, and the policies that were pursued by the present government were totally in deviation from what the Prime Minister had promised before he came to power. You see, the problem in Pakistani politics is that all the politicians, whether it is Imran Khan or whether it is PMLN, Nawaz Sharif and Shahbaz Sharif, or whether it is the People's Party, you see, the problem is that they are very, very patriotic and very willing to serve the people of Pakistan when they are in the opposition. But as soon as they acquire power, they are the most obedient slaves of the empire. And this is what has been happening for the last about 75 years. That the moment the government is in power, they sacrifice Pakistan's interest and they sacrifice the interest of the people of Pakistan, and they are the most obedient slaves of the empire. But the moment they are in the opposition, they are very patriotic. They stand by the people of Pakistan, and they are very willing to do anything for the people of Pakistan. Now, if you look at the present government, let's talk about the present government first. You see, the Prime Minister had been saying that he will much rather take his own life than go to the IMF. But after coming to power, he signed an agreement with the IMF, which is totally against the interests of the people of Pakistan. And then if you look at what he did with the, when they call it that the state bank is being made autonomous, you'd be shocked to read what is there in the so-called autonomy bill. I mean, the government has totally given up protecting Pakistan's interests. When it came to Kashmir, the government it took a total right about turn, and people of Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh are being tortured, and all sorts of atrocities are being committed on them by India. But the government took a total right about turn. It left the people in the lurch in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and it looked like that they were on board with what the government of India was doing. Then if you look at Afghanistan, the Afghan Taliban managed to get a superpower out. You know, they managed to get NATO out of Afghanistan. But the government of Pakistan seemed to be, totally, they got all the Americans and the NATO troops out without charging the US anything. And they have not even recognized Afghanistan. And the Prime Minister went to the extreme and he said that the UN should invoke R2P against the Afghan government, Taliban government. And then you look at the foreign funding case that the government has taken funds from Pakistan's enemies. And, and now they have taken a total right about turn, and they are saying that they are now standing against the Americans, and they are totally with the people of Pakistan. Actually, what has happened is that there was connivance between Imran Khan and Trump and Boris Johnson and Modi. These four people had got together and they formed a very close-knit alliance. And they were with one another without taking care of Pakistan's interests. There was some sort of personal rapport between them. And now when Joe Biden has got to, he has heard about it and he's very, very angry. So what is happening between US and Pakistan is actually a sort of a stalemate between Joe Biden and Imran Khan. I think United States has always treated Pakistan very shabbily, and we've always been like a client state. But what is happening between them at the moment is not a true reflection of what the US-Pakistan relationship. It is a true reflection of the relationship between Imran Khan and Joe Biden. I mean, I'm the staunchest critic of the way US has been treating Pakistan, whether it is on the economic front, whether it is on the political front, strategic front, and I am all out for, I've written a book, many books, but this one last book is about the title is Fighting Imperialism, Liberating Pakistan. This was published in 2011. And before that, I had another book against the enslavement of Pakistan. And I'm sort of on the forefront of fight against exploitation and the way Pakistan has been treated. But I think the present stalemate is between Imran Khan and Joe Biden rather than between US and Pakistan.
Now, also, Dr. Shahida, just looking at some of the internal issues, because we've seen now the allies of the PTI, and we've seen, some of them obviously now are walking away from the ruling party, and in this particular matter of the no confidence vote, they've joined the opposition. Now, just to understand the allies and also the reasoning behind them walking away from the PTI.
I think part of it has to do with being disappointed at the fact that PTI didn't fulfill its promises. But I think part of it is also to do with politicking. I mean, there's a lot of politicking going on. And I'm not very optimistic about what is going to happen if PMLN or People's Party come to power, because they have been very, very willing slaves as well. For example, if you look at the PMLN, it's always stating that, vote ko izzat do, that, you should honor the people's mandate. But if you look at the PMLN's performance itself, they have never honored the vote itself, because every time they come to power, they bring in all kinds of, paid agents and touts of the US and UK, and particularly US. So, I don't believe in these slogans that vote ko izzat do, because they themselves don't honor the mandate. The moment they are in power, they bring in all kinds of people who have no right to be there sitting in the cabinet. They are just, affiliated with the US. They have strong links with the United States and the US establishment. And it is the PMLN that really brings them to power. And also, if you look at the performance of PPP, last time when we had the PPP government, every time there is any issue involved between Pakistan and the US, then the PPP is on the side of the US, same as in the case of PMLN. For example, when the Pakistanis were murdered by Raymond Davis, the People's Party government was totally on the side of the murderer. And they were saying all out that, that he should be given, he should be let loose, and that he belongs to the diplomatic corps, although he did not. He was a CIA operative. But the People's Party, and also, they allowed 8,000 people, CIA operatives, to enter Pakistan without any vetting by our agencies. So I think they are all the same. They just do posturing. The moment they are in the opposition, they posture to be very patriotic Pakistanis, and the moment they are in the government, they are the most willing of slaves. So I think that they're just politicking, and I'd be equally disappointed if Shehbaz Sharif becomes the Prime Minister, because he's very, very closely allied with the US, and all the political parties are, but I think he more so in his case, at PMLN's case, and also People's Party, and also other parties, smaller parties. So there are very few political parties, you can just number them on the fingertips, that really stand with Pakistan and with Pakistan's interests and the people of Pakistan.
Yes. Now, obviously, there was a lot of hope when Prime Minister Imran Khan and the PTI came into power, but this appears to be a problem. And from what you have pointed out, Dr. Shahida, that each government, and we've seen the Pakistani political landscape for a very, very long time, where we've seen the failure to deliver. You spoke about the dismal performance on many fronts. Whether we're looking at it locally, internally, on an economic, and also in terms of foreign policy, the geopolitics that are playing out. You spoke about India, you've spoken about Kashmir, you speak about the United States of America, and irrespective of which party comes into power, they come with a lot of baggage from the past that needs to be fixed, and that seems to be a huge problem. And I'm sure this was a problem for Imran Khan and the PTI as well, inheriting a lot of this baggage from previous governments.
I think that besides the baggage, the present government got a clean slate, and I think they didn't have that type of baggage. And we really look forward to Imran Khan coming and delivering 3 years back or 4 years back. But I think now we've had enough of these old parties. I think we need a total, complete change. We need people of Pakistan who are really patriotic, educated, and honest. I think some of them might belong to smaller parties. We've seen a lot of new parties coming up in the last about 2 years. So I think that I hope that some of these parties get a chance, because some of the people who are in these parties, they're really, so far they have no baggage, and they're patriotic, and they're honest, and some of them are competent as well. So I hope that we have a total clean slate this time, and that some of these new parties, smaller ones, but at the moment they might not have so much mandate, and they might not have so much strength. But I think if they unite with one another, and there is some sort of fusion of parties, then I think that is the only hope for the people of Pakistan.
Yes, Dr. Shahida, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to go for a quick ad break. We'll come back, and I just need to engage with you for a few more minutes on certain other issues that are playing out. And also, we just want to talk about this no confidence debate in terms of its outcome as well. So we're going to put you on hold. We're going to go for a quick ad break.
Certainly. Thank you.
One small gesture can change someone's life. The SANZAF Meals Distribution Project aims to reach out to 100,000 individuals each month with freshly prepared meals daily. With your assistance, we can make this possible by contributing just 12 Rand per meal. Call us on 011 834 6046 for more information. SANZAF, changing lives through development and relief.
Alhamdulillah, we are finally free of riba. Birkat smells lovely.
Yeah, with Yakina, I managed to stop all the riba, Hajo. This insurance price is going up again.
Oh, we are not free of riba, Babu. You need to stop the insurance.
We have to have insurance, Hajo. You know how bad it is with all the crime and the accidents.
Have a little yakin now, Babu.
Yeah, man, I do have a little yakin. But I wish there was a way to leave all these riba insurance companies, man. It's my riba.
Babu, I can't handle this. The stench. It stinks.
Is that my underarms?
No, the riba stinks. Please find a way to stop this riba insurance, Babu.
Leaving riba insurance is easier than you think. Call Amana IFS for all your personal and commercial takaful needs. 0861 786 393. Amana, leave riba for good. Amana IFS is a registered financial services provider.
Knock, knock, who's almost there, it's Ramadan.
The team at Penny Appeal South Africa wishes you and your loved ones a blessed Ramadan. May this month of mercy bring, amongst other things, peace, contentment, and hope. Remember to spare a thought to the needy around the globe. Last year, you helped thousands of people. This year, with your help, we can reach thousands more. Ramadan Kareem from the team at Penny Appeal SA. We thank you for your continued support. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
The time is just gone 9:32 a.m. We continue our discussion with Professor Shahida Wizarat, professor at the Institute of Business Management in Karachi. We're talking about Imran Khan, Prime Minister Imran Khan, who is under severe pressure. There is this talk about the no confidence vote, and the motion is expected on the 3rd of April. Dr. Shahida, just to continue with the discussion, now we have learned that the Prime Minister Imran Khan will be fighting right till the end. And there was a rally that took place in Islamabad, and where he talks about a letter talking about having proof that he was being threatened by foreign elements who seek to topple his government. Just your thoughts, your comment in terms of foreign interference, foreign involvement in this motion of no confidence in Imran Khan and the PTI government.
While I totally support the fact that, I'm all out against foreign interference in Pakistan's affairs, whether it is on account of, political matters, or whether it is in the selection of government, or whether it is in dictation of foreign policy, or whether it is in dictation of economic policies, I would like to put on record my strongest objection to, this interference by the UK as well as US. But having said that, I've been fighting against this since the 1990s, and I've been fighting solo. It's been a solo fight, and I've not had much support from. There are many people who are with me, and they're supporting my. Most of the people of Pakistan are totally against this interference in Pakistan's internal affairs. So they're totally with me. But a lot of people don't like to come out on the surface, and they don't want to, because if you have sacrificed your personal benefits. So while there are a lot of people who support me behind the scenes, but a lot of people don't come out on the forefront. Having said that, I would also like to state that if this was really a fight between against U.S. interference in Pakistan's affairs, then U.S. and UK are in it together. So if Pakistan was fighting the USA against interference in Pakistan's affairs, then Pakistan would also have been fighting against the UK. But that is not the case. Imran Khan has very cordial and close relationship with the UK, as some of his earlier policies have shown, even recently. So I personally feel that this is actually a fight between Imran Khan and Joe Biden. Because Imran Khan went out very publicly in support of Trump. And I think once Joe Biden got elected, he was very mad at it and he was very angry. And that is why he did not call Imran Khan. And then Imran Khan kept waiting for his call, but the call didn't come because he was very angry that Imran Khan had interfered so much in US affairs. So I think, so it is really, I think, but I would like to state that I would support the fact that US, that we must oppose US and UK interference in Pakistan's internal affairs. But I think if Imran Khan was genuinely fighting Pakistan's war against US interference, then he should not have supported or the State Bank Autonomy Act, because the State Bank Autonomy Act has made Pakistan totally defenseless on the financial front. It is literally like handing over the State Bank of Pakistan to the IMF. And if Imran Khan was really against, if he was fighting against US domination, he would never have gone for the IMF deal. And he would never have, and he would have recognized Afghanistan immediately. The moment the Taliban government announced their, they took over, then the government would have been supportive of them. But the government was not very supportive of Taliban government. In fact, Imran Khan made a statement that the United Nations should invoke R2P against the Taliban government. Similarly, on Kashmir, I mean, he's totally in this close-knit relationship that had been done between Imran Khan, Modi, and Trump and Boris Johnson. They are in it together, and that is why Pakistan government was on board on what was happening in Kashmir. So, you can't just fool the people of Pakistan. You can't just take a right about turn and say that sometimes, you are totally supportive of what the United States wants you to do against the state of Pakistan and against the people of Pakistan. And then suddenly, when you feel that they are personally against you, then you take a total right about turn and tell the people of Pakistan that you are fighting Pakistan's wars. I mean, I would have been totally supportive of Imran Khan if he had stood by Pakistan, if he had stood against, economic domination, political domination, if he had opposed Pakistan's going to the IMF, if he had opposed the autonomy of the State Bank of Pakistan. It is not autonomy, actually. It is handing over the State Bank to the IMF. If he had stood by the Afghan Taliban and recognized the government, if he had supported the people of Jammu and Kashmir against Indian usurpation of their rights, and if he had stood by the people of Jammu and Kashmir, then today I would have been standing with Imran Khan today. But I'm very sorry to say that Imran Khan has totally, he didn't stand by the people of Pakistan and the people of Jammu Kashmir, Afghanistan, and therefore today I'm not in a position to lend any support to Imran Khan or to the PI government, but neither would I support the PMLN or the People's Party, because I think they are very true and very loyal Pakistanis as long as they are in the opposition. But I am all out for non-interference of the United States and as well as UK in Pakistan's economic, political, and geostrategic matters. And I think this is the opportune time for Pakistan to become a really truly sovereign country, but not the way that Imran Khan is trying to do it, but really substantive in all fronts. And not just because they are opposed to Imran Khan, but because they have been against the people of Pakistan and against the interests and economic, political, and strategic matters that are vital to Pakistan.
Also, Professor Shahida, Imran Khan won a lot of acclaim, accolades, support, that famous speech that he made at the United Nations. And at that point in time, there was a lot of hope because many were saying that this is someone who is now going to be standing his ground, but it does appear that that hasn't happened. But also looking at India and just to get your thoughts on how would India benefit from the removal of Imran Khan and the PTI government from power?
Actually, Imran Khan gives very good speeches. And I was also very impressed with Imran Khan when he was giving speeches against drone attacks against the people of Pakistan. And it looked like he was articulating our feelings and our emotions. But unfortunately, they're only words and no action. I mean, his speeches are not followed by action. They're very strong words, and they really arouse your emotions a lot. And I like his speeches very much. But unfortunately, those speeches are not backed by actions. And as far as India is concerned, I think if there is a truly sovereign government of Pakistan, if the government of Pakistan is really composed of patriotic and competent and honest people, then I think that is the kind of government that India will fear. Because that government will come and stand by Pakistan's interests. It will lend support to the people of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, Afghanistan, and all oppressed people. So I think that is the kind of government that India will fear. Because with Imran Khan, I think everybody now knows that he's very, very generous with words and very, very deficient in action. So I don't think they will fear Imran Khan at all, the Indians or the Americans even, because they know that he's very, very generous with words and he's very deficient with action.
Yes, and just finally, we're talking about foreign involvement and foreign interference in Pakistan politics and this threat that Imran Khan speaks about, foreign elements. Has this got something to do, and particularly looking at the US and the UK stance, has this got something to do because of his close association with Russia and China?
I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat your question?
Yes, I'm saying that with the threatening by foreign elements, and you mentioned the likes of the United States and the UK, has this got something to do because of his close association with Russia and China?
I think, the people of Pakistan, I don't know what substantive actions that Imran Khan has taken to bring Pakistan close to Russia and China, except for the visit that he made recently when he was facing this backlash by the opposition. Then he suddenly made a trip to China and Russia. Because earlier, in 2014, when the Chinese president was visiting Pakistan in connection with CPEC, Imran Khan had staged a dharna in Islamabad, which prevented the Chinese president from coming to Pakistan, from visiting Pakistan to sign the CPEC. So, if you look at his actions, they have actually been quite supportive of the US because the US Chinese president couldn't come to Pakistan because of the dharna, and he first went to India, and India and China signed the agreement before CPEC was signed between Pakistan and China. So now that he rushed to China and Russia, I think that was because he was facing this, this no confidence motion. So he immediately paid a visit to China and Russia to show off his anti-US credentials. I'm not sure how much he has really done to promote relations between Pakistan and China and Pakistan and Russia. But we have been trying. I have been trying very hard for the last many years. I've been inviting Chinese and Russian scholars. I've been visiting Russia and China and visiting their universities. And I've been trying to, whatever I could do in my own little way, I've tried to promote relations between Pakistan and China and Pakistan and Russia and between their academics. And we've done conferences. We've invited each other to our conferences. And I've also, there are intellectuals, other intellectuals also that have tried to bring these two countries closer to one another, because I think that we belong to the region. And I think it's very important for Pakistan to develop closer relations with Russia, China, Afghanistan, and also Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Malaysia, Indonesia. I think that is the region that we belong to, and I think that is the region that we should try to strengthen and support each other. And I've written articles and I've done research on how this region can become a formidable bloc against US and UK and Western imperialism.
Yes, and just very quickly, one more issue: the case of Afia Siddiqui. Now, I've seen very recently Pasban's Altaf Shakur, a video clip that went out, and obviously he was highly critical of Imran Khan, and particularly looking at the build-up to the elections, the emotions of the electorate in the case of Afia Siddiqui, and we know even prior to him becoming the prime minister, there were many promises that were made to bring Afia Siddiqui back home. And 3.5 years later, this hasn't happened. And this also is a point of criticism that has been leveled against Imran Khan for not sticking to what he had promised.
Absolutely. This is also one of the things that Imran Khan has backed down on. I mean, you see, this repatriation of Dr. Afia Siddiqui is an issue which the people of Pakistan, it is really agitating the people of Pakistan, because the war between, this war has ended. There has been an agreement between Taliban and the United States, and everything is getting back to normal. But I don't see why the present government and also the previous governments are totally oblivious to the interests of the people of Pakistan, and they never stand by. If, for example, if a Pakistani is being wronged, if a Pakistani has been murdered, then the government of Pakistan is totally with the murderer, who happens to be a US or Western citizen. Then the government of Pakistan stands by the murderer. But if a Pakistani has murdered some foreigner, then the government of Pakistan is totally with the victim. So whether a Pakistani has murdered or whether a Pakistani has got murdered, the government of Pakistan, whether it is this present government or previous governments, they are always on the side of the opposite side. A Westerner, whether the Westerner is a murderer or whether a Westerner is a victim of the murder. So we fail to understand how is this our government when it does not stand with the people of Pakistan. It has not done anything to repatriate Dr. Afia Siddiqui. Many Western, academics and lawyers and human rights activists have said that Dr. Afia Siddiqui is totally innocent, and yet it does not move the government of Pakistan, the present government or the previous governments. They all stand with the oppressor, especially if the oppressor is a Western country or a Western individual.
Well, Professor Shahida Wizarat, Jazakallah khairan so much for that and for spending time with us here on News and Views on Salam Media this morning. We wish you all the best, inshallah, and have yourself a wonderful Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak to you as well.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having me. And Ramadan Mubarak to you also, and all the best to you also. Very best of luck.
Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much. What again?
Professor Shahida Wizarat joining us this morning, and it's going to be interesting to see what pans out in Pakistan. Imran Khan in a very precarious position. The voting on the no confidence is expected on the 3rd of April. We're going to go for a break. We come back. We're talking Ramadan inspiration, uplifting Shaban. Our Nasiha this morning will be joined by Appa Khadija Salasa.